Sam here. I want to take a couple minutes today and go over something that we get asked quite a bit, and that is in regards to the dispersion rates of SeamLock's two different styles of adhesives. So if you're not aware, Big Dog Adhesives makes SeamLock, and SeamLock comes in two formulas. The first formula is the traditional SeamLock, which is our flowing formula. It is the 8000 series resin. And then we have the SeamLock Pro, which is our no drip formula, or the 9000 series resin. So whenever you're ordering SeamLock, if you order, let's say this satin black here, satin black, it says satin black number 9827. The 9 stands for the 9000 series, or our no drip formula, and then the 827 is the color code. So if you were to order the standard traditional flowing adhesive, it would be satin black, and it would be 8,827. The 8 indicating that it's the traditional flowing formula, and the 827 is the color code for the satin black. So we have two different formulas, the flowing and the no drip. I've made a couple of videos about that. I'll link to that in the comments down below. So if you're not familiar with the two different formulas, kind of showing the difference between them, you can go ahead and watch that video and get up to speed. But today, one thing that we get asked a lot is, hey, we want to, I think we should go with the flowing because when we clamp it down, the glue is going to spread into all the nooks and crannies that we need, and we're going to get better adhesion. And while that mindset is out there, I kind of want to dispel that myth because it's not correct, right? The way it works with the no drip formula is, yeah, it stays in place, it doesn't run, it doesn't drip, but its dispersion rate is pretty much the same as the flowing. When you clamp the pieces down, that adhesive is going to flow right where it needs to go and get you complete coverage. And I kind of want to show you that, I guess, to the extreme today and show you just how well that the no drip formula can run and how it disperses. Now, almost every single one of our stocking partners is stocking the no drip or the 9000 series formula pretty much exclusively. And that's because it is the strongest, toughest, most durable cartridge adhesive for the countertop industry on the market right now. It is the best of the best. And the no drip formula is what everybody wants. Like, some people have been using the flowing because the flowing formula is pretty much what's been around for the last 30 years and what most people are familiar with. But the no drip formula, once people are trying it, they are loving it. Now, we still get a couple of people that are more old school calling in and saying, hey, Sam, I got a question about this. I don't really see how the no drip is going to get into all the nooks and crannies just like the flowing does. I want the flowing. But the reality is yes, we make the flowing and it is an amazing adhesive. But the no drip formula is just the most advanced, most technologically advanced adhesive on the market, and you're really doing yourself an injustice if you're not using that, right? It is so strong and it is so tough with those extra impact modifiers. One thing you'll really notice when it comes to the extra impact modifiers is if you're ever doing a chiseled edge, if you've had to laminate stuff up and you have to do a chiseled edge, the impact modifiers in the no drip will prevent that chiseled edge from actually shelving. It is so strong. So if you're using a beaver or a chisel and you chisel that edge, a lot of the adhesives will release on the underside of that seam because the adhesive fails, and you'll have what's called shelving, where the edge goes down, it goes back in where the adhesion broke, and then it goes into the chisel. There is zero shelving when it comes to the SeamLock Pro or the no drip formula. So kind of what I want to show you guys today is I'm going to use this satin black. We've got these samples here. Most of you guys are familiar with the no drip. The big advantage is I was out in the field with one of our local Dallas fabs the other day, and they had to insert a piece into an end cap. And so they had to put the adhesive on all three sides of a piece of material just like this. And you'll notice where that adhesive was placed is exactly where it stayed. I mean, it doesn't matter how you lay this, the adhesive stays right where it is. Now, if you're using the flowing adhesive, if you were to put this in place, half of this adhesive would be running off of the piece before you got it into place. When I was out there with the installers, they simply put the adhesive on the piece, just like this piece that I did in a sample. The adhesive stayed right where it was. They put it right into place. The adhesive dispersed right where it needed to be, and they were done. There was no mess to clean up. They didn't have to even put anything down to protect anything because the adhesive stayed right where it was put on the place. Now, that is one of the biggest advantages of the no drip formula, just in addition to all of the extra impact modifiers. So today, what I want to do is I'm going to put the no drip adhesive into this syringe. So one of our fabricator partners does a lot of repairs, and some of the small cracks he'll just fill with the no drip adhesive and put it into a syringe and then inject it into the cracks so that he can polish them out. Now, If you are using a flowing formula, when you start injecting this adhesive, it's not going to stay where you put it because it's flowing. So if you have a crack that has nothing underneath it to support it, the adhesive is just going to flow right through that crack. Now, with the no drip formula, you can put the adhesive into the syringe, and then you can start building up inside that crack, and the adhesive will just keep raising and raising, raising right till you get to the top, and it's not going to run out. If you're using a flowing formula, you're going to need to tape or build some sort of dam below that crack. With the no drip formula, you don't have to worry about that, right? So if you're coming in and the crack is somewhere that you don't have access, let's say it's on top of a Lazy Susan or something like that, or it's an enclosed area and you can't get under there to build a dam, the flowing formula is not going to work. So then the question becomes, well, will the no drip formula be able to get into that and compress and disperse the way you want it? And that's what I want to show you guys today. So if you look at these 3 needles, I mean, these things are super tiny. I'd say the biggest one is like 1/64 of an inch, all the way down to the smallest one, which is probably smaller than 1/128 of an inch. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take this satin black no drip adhesive here. It is the SeamLock Pro, the 9000 series, the no drip. I'm going to put it into this cartridge gun here, and I'm going to do it just like I would a normal adhesive. We got tons of videos on prepping your adhesive. I'm going to prep it and bleed it, make sure that the catalyst and the adhesive are both coming out so the pistons are balanced. We've got that. We're going to go ahead, put on our tip, lock it in place. I'm going to purge out a little bit here so we got good mix. We're good. And now I'm going to come in here. I'm going to start with the smallest needle first. I'm going to go ahead and put this on. And this is tiny. I mean, this is less than, I mean, it might even be like a 200th of an inch. I don't know how needle gauges are. I've never really played with needles, but this is a very fine needle. I mean, you could actually use this as a medical syringe if you wanted to. That's kind of what these are intended for. So I'm going to go ahead and fill this guy up with adhesive here. If you've never done this, what makes it kind of weird is if you're using like a liquid, you could turn this up and bleed the air out. The adhesive is so thick, it's not going to bleed, so you can't burp it. So when you put your plunger in here, you're always going to kind of have this layer of air between the adhesive. So you got to squeeze a little bit to compress that air before the hydraulic pressure kicks in. But this is a super fine needle. I want to show you guys here. You can take this and you can squeeze this, and I am getting adhesive out of this needle. I mean, this is a fine opening, but still the adhesive is dispersing and spreading enough to come out of this needle. I mean, this is about the width of a human hair. I don't know if you can see that, but that is about the width of a human hair on that one. So now I'm going to change this needle and go up to the next gauge. Probably got to take the pressure off because now it's exploding all over me. Put on the next one. Put my plunger in there and I'll plunge this out. And obviously this is a much bigger opening, so it is coming out pretty good, but this is probably about the size of 2 or 3 human hairs that I'm spreading out here. And you can see how quickly and easily that no drip formula flows through this. So this is the second size needle here. It flows no problem. Let me back off the pressure once again. I'll change this needle, put on a new one here, put this on, and you can see it just flows out no problem. So there is no issues with this stuff dispersing. It can compress into whatever area you want. If you wanted to, you could come here and you could keep building it up. If you needed to build up a plug or something, you can just keep layering it on top of itself like this, and it doesn't compress, it doesn't run, it just stays right where you want it. So if you are doing repairs or anything that's super technical, this formula is perfect for you. And you don't have to worry about it not spreading as well as the no drip. As a flowing formula, because if you look at that, I mean, it layers up, it builds, it compresses. When you compress those 2 pieces together, it's going to spread and disperse just as good as the no drip, just as good as the flowing adhesive, and you're going to get complete coverage of whatever you want. So if you have not tried the no drip, I would encourage you guys to try it. It is an amazing adhesive. It is the strongest, most advanced adhesive on the market. It disperses fine. I mean, you can compress it all the way through this needle here, which I don't know if you can see it, but this thing is so tiny. I mean, you could actually use this as an IV if you wanted to. I think actual IV needles are bigger diameter than this, some of them. So the no drip, it can compress, it can squeeze into any nook and cranny that you need to get it into. You're going to get complete coverage. And again, I would encourage you to try the no drip if you have not. You're going to be super impressed with the formula. I think you're going to love it. Everybody that's tried it has had really good things to say about it. So like I say, if you have any questions, give me a call, shoot me an email. Otherwise, I'm gonna dry off all the sweat because it is freaking humid here in Texas, and I didn't want to have the fans on so that you could hear me. But like I say, give me a call, shoot me an email if you have any questions. And if you have not tried the SeamLock Pro, you are gonna love it, and it is going to work perfectly for you, I promise. So with that, hope you guys all have a great weekend, and I will talk to you soon.